So a question I get really often, and it's a very savvy one, is this sapphire treated or not? When you study to become a gemologist, so much of what you learn is about gemstone treatments. So let's talk about blue sapphire treatments specifically. I'll show you some gemstones, give you my 2 cents on what I think about the two treatments we'll talk about. Now, before we go into it, the thing you need to know is that blue sapphires are coloured by the two colouring elements, two metals, iron and titanium. And they work together to give the beautiful blue colour that we know and love. The two treatments that I want to talk about, and they are the two most common treatments of blue sapphires, is diffusion treatment and heat treatment. Now, diffusion treatment, I will say right off the bat, it strips the value from a stone. It can be hard to detect. You really do need to know what you're doing to be able to detect it. And what happens in diffusion treatment is we take titanium, we crush it up into a powder, we surround the sapphire with it, and we force that titanium into the lattice of the stone, into the stone itself, which introduces a new colouring element. So we are really bringing something into the stone that was not there before. Personally, would not sell stones like this. And then there's heat treatment. Now, we just talked about how we have iron and titanium within the stones, and that's what gives them their colour. Where's my other blue sapphire? When you heat in certain atmospheres at certain temperatures, it will allow the electrons within that titanium and that iron, I'm not going to get more scientific than this because it makes my head hurt, and we can move those electrons around within the stone. And that can, depending on the exact temperatures, blah, 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 can make a stone that was very pale darker, or it can make a stone that was very dark paler, and optimize the color. Now, this is the machinery that they use to do that. This is some I saw in a very small cutting workshop in Sri Lanka. For me, because they are rearranging what is already in the stone, I'm not worried about this as a treatment so much. At least not so much that I'm always going to pay the premium, and it is a real premium that an unheated stone would attract, and I'll tell you why in particular. It's estimated that over 90% of blue sapphires are heat treated. Why do we not know exactly? Okay, so it's very easy to prove that a stone has been heat treated. You can tell by the inclusions within the stone, either because they're there or not there, or because of the way that they've reacted to the high temperatures. When we say a stone is unheated, all we are really saying is that we can't see that it has been heated. And that's pretty much the best we can do. That could be because there were no inclusions within the stone to start with that then changed to indicate that it has been heated. So much goes into the value of blue sapphires. Blue stones are the same size, one that's been heated and has optimal characteristics, versus a stone that hasn't been heated but is much paler, a lot less interesting. It wouldn't be correct to assume that the heated stone is worth less than the unheated just because of that treatment. This stone here is unheated and this one is heated. It is a really good idea if you're thinking about a big stone purchase to ask these questions. They absolutely cannot hurt, and you would definitely want to know if the stone had been diffusion treated. So guys, I hope that was helpful. Again, I will write that out in the caption, and keep the questions coming.